Hi Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope for April 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then for your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break April down into 4 weeks, and I'm going to pay particular attention to the moon, what it's doing, how it moves through your chart, what houses it sits in, and when, and how that influences you as you go through the month of April. So starting with week 1, Tuesday the 1st until Sunday the 6th of April. On the 1st, we have the moon in your sign of Taurus, and it sits in your first house of self next to Uranus in Taurus. So this is a great day for you to start this month feeling a great sense of power. And also, what may happen is that you start to get ideas around business and money and how to create security for yourself that are outside of the norm of the way you've been doing that so far. So if you get new business ideas and ideas for different ventures, really take those seriously. They're likely to pay off. On the 2nd and 3rd of April, the moon then moves into Gemini and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet, in your second house of money. So these 2 days are great to connect with other people, to network, to consider new businesses, to consider new ways of making money. Remember that Venus is still in retrograde until the 12th of April, your ruler. So start to gather the information, do the research around how you can create more abundance in your life on the 2nd and 3rd. And then put those into action after the 12th of April, and you'll be laughing. You'll be in a really good position. On the 4th, 5th, and 6th, the moon then moves into Cancer, and it goes into your third house of communication. It sits next to Hades and Mars, also in Cancer, in that third house. And on the 4th of April, we have the moon reaching its second quarter, so it's waxing, it's getting bigger, on its way to becoming a full moon on the 12th of April. So what you'll be able to do is communicate what it is that's going on for you in a very nurturing, loving way. It's a great 3-day period where you can take care of other people, where you can support people in ways that usually may not be of greatest interest to you. If there are any obligations or duties that have to do with family, you'll be able to manage those very well. So if you have to go home to, take care of something, to help a family member if they're moving, if a family member has just got out of hospital and you want to be there to pick them up and to support them, the 4th, 5th, and 6th are great days where you can put your own things aside and really devote yourself to another person you care about and to be very selfless. So the first 6 days of the month, the moon starts in your first house of self and it ends up in the third house of communication. So that's the first quadrant, houses 1, 2, 3. It's about you, it's about the way you create an income, and it's about the way you see the world. So make sure that during the first 6 days, you have a little notebook by your side where you're taking notes on, this is what I could do to create more wealth and abundance in my life. This is what I could change in order to have more freedom and autonomy in my work. And this is really how I can create genuine security for myself independently without needing anyone else. And with that, you're also able to be there for other people while you're thinking about these things on the side. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 7th to 13th of April. On the 7th and 8th, the moon is in Leo, and that's in your 4th house of family. And you also have the transiting ascendant in Leo in your 4th house. On the 7th of April, Mercury, the communication planet, goes direct. So expect fewer issues when it comes to communication and transportation. Although with the rising and the moon being in Leo in your 4th house, if there's been any kind of resentment or anything that you have put up with when it comes to family members and you've censored yourself, you've kind of bitten your tongue to be quiet about it, You may not be able to help yourself and you may explode, and the things that have been getting on your nerves may really come across in quite a forceful way. So if there's something that you really want to keep to yourself, if you don't want to start any conflict with family members, watch out for the 7th and 8th. You're most vulnerable to kind of saying things that you may regret later on. On the 9th and 10th, the moon moves into Virgo and it goes into your 5th house of what you love to do and who you love. Romantic relationships, passion. It's also the house of children. And the moon in Virgo is about getting organized. So if you've been unsure about what it is you love to do in your working life, the 9th and 10th are great days to contemplate that and to figure it out. If you haven't been sure about what you want to do with your love life, do I enjoy being single? Would I prefer being with someone? You'll be able to figure those things out by, again, giving yourself a bit of time to meditate on those things, to contemplate them. But also Virgo is a sign that's ruled by Mercury, the communication planet. It's about learning, it's about assessing things. So you'll be able to kind of look at the situations in your life where you're supposed to be in love. So this is the job that I've chosen that I really love and enjoy, or I'm supposed to. This is the person that I've chosen. How do I really feel? And these 2 days are going to reveal that to you in a way that's crystal clear so that you can make any changes if you need to. The moon then moves on and goes into Libra, and it moves into your 6th house on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So the moon in Libra is very much about connection. It's about building bridges. And the 6th house is about the routines and structures of your life. So these 3 days are good for you to receive new information when it comes to your own diet, the way you treat your own body, what your daily routine looks like, and you're able to be mentored by someone else, or you're able to find information that shows you a better way so that you can have a daily routine that is more supportive of you and for your own personal style of doing things. You know, some people can work 18 hours and it doesn't make a dent. Other people don't have as much energy and can work 6 hours, but be very productive, and then they have to rest. So whatever it is for you, you'll be able to figure out what works for you, what changes you can make and implement so that the structures of your everyday routine are constructive and supportive, and that you're preventing anything like burnout. On the 12th of April, Venus, your ruler, that goes direct. So from the 12th onwards, expect fewer issues when it comes to having the wrong idea about who you love and what you love. It's a great time to start new businesses now, and it's also a good time to start new relationships. And on the 12th of April as well, we have a full moon in Libra, and that happens in your 6th house. So you'll really be very connected to your own life experience, your own body, your own living situation, where you live, how you live. And with this full moon, it really shines a light on all of those things. And if there's anything that you can improve or that requires changing so that you don't trip yourself up or fall on your face, you'll be able to make those changes so that your life ticks along nicely and you're getting rid of the things which may be destructive or may throw you off course. So in week 2, the moon starts on the 7th in your 4th house, and it ends up in your 6th house on the 13th. Okay, so that's the second quadrant, houses 4, 5, and 6, and that's really about the domestic sphere of your life. It's about family, it's about who you love, and it's about your own daily routine. So in week 2, focus on those things, try and get them organized. You'll make a lot of progress, and you'll feel like you're on top of things much more, and you know what's happening in your everyday routine, so that if there is a surprise thing that comes in, you'll have space and time, and you'll be prepared for it so that you can handle things that are unexpected without a lot of drama or upset. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 14th to the 20th of April. The moon's in Scorpio on the 14th and 15th, and it sits next to Black Moon Lilith and Vesta in Scorpio in your 7th house of relationships. So on these 2 days, you're going to be very interested in connecting with another human being in a very intimate, meaningful way. So if you're single, these 2 days are great to go on dates and to meet someone, to immediately feel sparks, but to more so immediately know whether there is something between you and another person, and for there to be very little confusion. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, we've got the moon going into Sagittarius, and it goes into your 8th house of institutions and authorities. So anything that needs doing when it comes to your relationships with these governing bodies, if there's anything in the realms of taxes or investments, selling houses, buying houses, mediation, legal issues, you'll be able to take care of those very well and to make a lot of progress. Plus, on the 16th of April, Mercury, the communication planet, that ingresses into Aries. So Mercury in Aries is very direct. And if you're in negotiations or if you're dealing with the tax people, you'll be able to get your point across without becoming intimidated and backing down. You'll be able to say, well, actually, this isn't right, and I'd like to challenge this or question it, or even I'd like to make a complaint. And you'll be able to do that without the usual self-doubt. So if you're someone who's quite shy and quite willing to take instruction and to follow the rules, you'll be able to not bend the rules, but really stand up for yourself and put your foot down if something is unjust or unfair. On the 18th of April, Mars enters Leo, and Mars is in Leo in your 4th house of family. And again, it's next to your rising in your transiting ascendant in Leo in your 4th house. So family is going to become an area of real passion and importance to you from the 18th onwards, but there could also be conflict, and you may even want conflict. So if someone has been doing you wrong, if you feel like a family member has been taking advantage of you, you'll want to address that and to say, enough already. I'm not an ATM. I'm not a cash point. On the 19th and 20th, the moon goes into Capricorn, and it goes into your 9th house of travel and education and the higher realms. So if there's anything that needs studying, brushing up on, learning, if you're going on a business trip, that'll go very well. If you're trying to have some sort of spiritual breakthrough, you can work towards that and get a good outcome. Also on the 19th, we've got the sun going into Taurus. So happy birthday, Taurus. And that goes into your 1st house of self, next to your part of fortune, and next to Uranus in Taurus. So this is a great time for you because you'll be feeling like this is my time of the year. I can get things done. But with Uranus sitting in there, you'll be able to think outside of the box, particularly when it comes to creating more wealth and abundance for yourself, and when it comes to taking control of your practical environment and your practical circumstances. So if you live in a terraced house, and that's the way it's been for the last 5 years, but you've had this dream that you want to have a detached house, and how is that going to happen? If you contemplate that, you may get some very unusual ideas that make that a possibility. So what I'm trying to say for you, Taurus, is that the impossible is possible if you can imagine it, if you can think it. The universe is kind of going to deliver things which are unexpected and miraculous. If you consider them, you give them life and spiritual truth, and you can make them a reality. On the 20th as well, the moon reaches its 4th quarter, so it's waning away to becoming a new moon on the 27th of April. And the moon on the 20th is still in Capricorn in that ninth house at the very top of your chart. So it allows you in a very patient way to consider the way you're working, the way you're creating an income, where you live, how you live, and whether that's suitable or whether you want to make changes to the way you live your life. So week 3, the moon starts on the 14th in your 7th house, and it ends up on the 20th in your 9th house. So that's the third quadrant. And the third quadrant is really about public life. So people who exist out there, colleagues, friends, the government, the tax people, institutions, learning, travel, moving to a different country, visas. So if there's anything that needs sorting out as far as your public life is concerned, focus on those aspects in week 3 and you'll have the easiest time of it. You'll make the most progress and you'll find it easy to decide what it is you want to do without a lot of back and forth. Week 4, Monday to Wednesday, the 21st to the 30th of April. On the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of April, the moon is in Aquarius and it's in your 10th house of career next to Pallas, which is wisdom, and Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And Aquarius is really thinking outside of the box and thinking in a way that's kind of chaotic. So during this 3-day period, you're going to be willing to consider ways of working that you would have dismissed out of hand in the past. On the 21st of April as well, Mercury reaches its greatest western elongation. So look for the planet low in the eastern sky just before sunrise. And Mercury is in Aries in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So what does the universe want for me when it comes to my work? What is possible for my life when it comes to the way I operate and the way I create an income? Do I want that to be something that's conventional and mainstream, or do I want to work as a wizard and do something completely different? On the 22nd and 23rd as well, we have the Lyrids meteor shower, and the best viewing of those will be after midnight. And the constellation Lyra is associated with music, harmony, and creativity. So you're able to get creative when it comes to your career, the way you work, and rather than just robotically following the instructions or doing what your parents wanted you to do, you're able to consider and get creative around the way you work and to embrace something or to move towards something which is going to be more aligned with who you really are. On the 24th and 25th, the moon then moves into Pisces in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and it joins the North Node, Venus, and Saturn also in Pisces in that 11th. So these 2 days are you really tapping into what it is you want for your life, what gives you a sense of security, what you love, what you think you're good at, and ultimately what you want to build in the long term. So if you can, take a bit of time on the 24th and 25th to spend by yourself and to contemplate, what is it that I want to do with my life? What would be the ideal way of living? Children, living in a mansion, living in a van, working as a locksmith. What is it that ultimately I want? What is the dream? What would be the best way of taking care of my own inner child while also creating physical, financial security for me? You'll get a lot of answers out of that if you question those things on the 24th and 25th. Then on the 26th, the moon moves into Aries and it goes into your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. And it's next to Neptune in Aries, and Neptune has only recently gone into Aries. It's been in Pisces for the last 14 years pretty much. And now it's in Aries. The moon joins it for the first time in your chart. So it's how can I take my dreams and put those into action? How can I actually stop waiting for something great to happen? And how can I make it happen for myself now? So the patience is over. On the 27th, 28th, and 29th, the moon goes back into your sign of Taurus. And on the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. So the moon is pitch black. It's pulling in a ton of your energy into your first house of self. And now at this point in the month, we have the transiting midheaven in there, which is your work, and Uranus, the miraculous and chaotic. So during this new moon, on the 27th, but also on the 28th and 29th, you'll really be able to plant seeds of doing something different and saying, I am going to build a life that I've dreamt of for a long time now, and it's enough already, and I'm going to start making genuine changes, and I'm going to start watering these seeds and watch them grow and create a life that is different to the way I've lived so far, so that I get absolutely everything that I ever wanted. So it's not greed, Taurus. It's you saying, I am a special, unique individual, and I want everything great that the world has to offer. And now I'm genuinely starting to do the work on getting those things for myself. Then the final day of the month, the 30th of April, the moon goes into Gemini. It goes back into your second house of money. It joins Jupiter. So great ideas when it comes to problem solving around how you're actually going to make this happen. And on the 30th as well, your ruler, Venus, it ingresses into Aries. And Venus goes into your 12th house of spirituality. It joins Neptune in Aries. So it's all systems go. It's Taurus is no longer in idling mode. The gear has been put in place and now you're ready to speed off. April is really the month where you start to make it happen for yourself, and you're tired of waiting for something to be given to you or for something to occur. You're determined now to make it happen for yourself. So in this final 9 days of April, the moon starts on the 21st in your 10th and it ends on the 30th in your second. So that's the left hand side of your chart. It's the fourth quadrant and houses 1 and 2. So your perspective on the way you're going to create wealth and abundance, it's all about how do I transcend my existing self and upgrade my life into something that I really, really dream of and that I would like to happen. And I'm no longer just going to sit around and dream about it. I'm going to make it happen. So Taurus, you're going to be someone who is incredibly disciplined and motivated and feet on the ground, working to get these realities into your life. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with in April. It looks like an amazing month for you. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then please order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where you send me 10 or more significant life events. I'm able to work out your time of birth, and that means then that the ascendant is accurate, and so are the house placements, which is really important. I look at the progress chart and transits to see what's coming up in future. Because it's your birthday, Taurus, it's also a good time to draw up a solar return chart, because that shows me the themes that are coming from your birthday this year and that lasts until your birthday next year. So if you'd like to see what's coming up in future, or when the best time is to move or to get into a relationship or to sell the house or anything like that, please get in touch. Also, astrocartography is a great tool that I have access to, which shows me which parts of the world are going to influence you in a positive way and support you, and what areas of the world are not going to work for you specifically. So if you're interested in any of those things, please do get in touch for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That's what helps it shows up in searches. Subscribe for more videos in future, and please share this video. That's what helps the channel grow. I also do a daily tarot reading on my channel, so if you'd like to watch that, then please become a channel member. That would be awesome. Have an amazing April, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.